Welcome to Facts for Real Videos. Since the 1945 independence of Indonesia, Jakarta, the nation's capital, now has about 30 million residents, up from less than a million. Skyscrapers have made it taller, but the capital no longer has enough room. Additionally, there is a lot more traffic and pollution now. Above all, however, Jakarta is sinking as residents' thirst has dried up its marshy aquifers and raised the sea level. President Jokowi has turned to a different solution after the capital of Indonesia, Jakarta, was submerged by the sea and 40% of it now lies below sea level. All previous attempts to save the capital have failed to lift Jakarta above the sea's reach. Should Jakarta fail to be spared, he is going to start from zero and create his future capital. We are going to explore the $35 billion future capital of Indonesia today, which is situated in the middle of a rainforest. The best way to support this channel is to like and subscribe to the video before we begin. With a GDP of $7.3 trillion, Indonesia hopes to become a developed nation and the fifth largest economy in the world by the time it celebrates its 100th anniversary of independence in 2045. Additionally, Indonesia declared its goal to achieve net zero emissions by 2060. Building a new capital in East Kalimantan on the island of Borneo is a major component of Indonesia's economic revival. The name of the new capital, Nusantara, which means archipelago in ancient Javanese, is intended to represent the unlikely nation of more than 17,000 islands dispersed across two oceans. Given the ethnic, linguistic, and religious diversity of Indonesia, creating a new capital city in such a diverse region offers both a challenge and an opportunity for reinvention. However, the president claims that Nusantara won't be just any planned city, but a renewable energy, powered green metropolis, where people can bike and stroll along lush paths without being choked up by traffic jams. And it will be a high-tech city. According to the president, it will draw millennials and digital nomads who will buy chic apartments with Bitcoin at an estimated cost of $35 billion. With its aggressive building timeline, the magnitude of this historic project is astounding. And it will be a high-tech city. According to the president, it will draw millennials and digital nomads who will buy chic apartments with Bitcoin at an estimated cost of $35 billion. With its aggressive building timeline, the magnitude of this historic project is astounding. An estimated 20,000 indigenous people will have to relocate in order for Nusantara to cover its entire area of 2,560 square kilometers, or roughly 3.5 times the size of Singapore. Environmentalists are calling the project an ecological disaster because it will accelerate deforestation in the area and destroy the habitats of several exotic animals. There are 5 phases to the move to the new capital, all of which must be finished by 2045. Phase 1 consists of the government Central Area Zone, which is expected to be finished by February 2024 and include government buildings, schools, and hospitals. President Jokowi has stated that his new palace will host the official celebration of Indonesia's Independence Day on August 17. 2 million people are expected to live in East Kalimantan by 2045 in order to accommodate the 100,000 state employees who are expected to relocate there during the first phase of construction, which runs from 2024 to 2029. In order to inaugurate Nusantara by August 2024, basic infrastructure such as housing and roads must be built at a breakneck pace. Bulldozers are clearing acres of plantation forest land, but the issue is that not a single showcase structure has been completed. When Japanese investors visited the construction site in late June 2022, it is reported that they were perplexed because they saw barely anything aside from trees and a white sign with the words Nusantara. Shortly after, they withdrew their funding, citing a lack of a long-term vision for the project. Shortly after, they withdrew their funding, citing a lack of a long-term vision for the project. This bold idea won't be simple to implement, and political rivals have questioned the wisdom of the plan. A poll of Jakartans conducted during the architectural competition revealed that 95.7% of them opposed the idea of building a new capital. In addition, a new capital on Borneo will not alter the fact that millions of people will still be left in a sinking Jakarta, and the majority of them do not want to relocate to a faraway island because of poor decision-making. The project is being rushed, and there are many obstacles facing the construction as Mr. Jokowi's term as president comes to an end. With the departure of Japanese investors, the issue of who is actually paying for this city's expenses remains. According to reports, the nation is looking to China and Middle Eastern countries like Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates for investment. The Indonesian state will cover just under 1/5 of the initial outlay. While city planners have emphasized that they wish to avoid problems brought on by private investment, such as inequality and corruption, they will be dependent on it to raise the money necessary to build the city. The rest must come from state-owned businesses and both local and international investors. This in and of itself will not be easy given that this is a high-risk project that might not necessarily be continued by the next administration given that joke always ends in 2024. Meanwhile, Java accounts for 60% of Indonesia's GDP, with Jakarta providing 15% of the country's GDP. Less than 10% of the GDP is contributed by the Kalimantan regions. With the majority of the nation's wealth concentrated in Jakarta, many Indonesians residing outside of Java have long lamented that their country was ignored when the capital was moved to East Kalimantan. The government anticipates that this action will stimulate further investment in Indonesia's peripheral regions, leading to increased development and inclusion. However, the decision to make East Kalimantan the new capital is intriguing. The region's position in the center of the Indonesian archipelago and its immunity to the regular natural calamities that befall Indonesia, such earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and tsunamis, have been cited as geopolitical factors that motivated the decision. Indonesia will be in a better position to access its main areas of interest, the Pacific Ocean and the Celebi Sea Air, if it moves its capital to East Kalimantan. It's no secret that Indonesia wants to establish itself as a powerful Indo-Pacific nation, taking advantage of its advantageous central location. The nation's goal of becoming a maritime force in the area is extremely evident. With building expected to increase, large-scale projects like Nusantara have horrifying effects for the environment and nearby populations. Environmentalists issued a warning this year, claiming that the construction of a city could hasten the deforestation of one of the oldest and largest areas of tropical rainforest in the world, which is said to be over 100 million years old. Environmental organizations are worried about the area's endangered wildlife. The Mohakam Lakes, a stunning region rich in peatlands and home to the endangered Arawati dolphin, are not far from the planned location of the future capital. In addition, detractors claim that the development of the new city will result in the growth of palm oil plantations and accommodation in an area rich in different animals and biodiversity. Kalimantan is one of the few places on Earth where orangutans dwell in their natural habitat. Verdant rainforests, the nature and culture of the indigenous people of Borneo, may be endangered by the relocation, according to groups advocating for them. Given that the government does not recognize ancestral land claims, indigenous communities fear that the government would destroy their settlements. There is no official system in place to pay compensation to native landowners. Not every nation moved its capital to Jakarta first. The Brazilian government relocated its capital from Rio de Janeiro's congested coast to Brasilia, a city created from scratch in the countryside, in 1960, and the Indonesian government has frequently used Brasilia as an example. The goal of the new city, like that of Nusantara, was to ease congestion in the capital and stimulate the rural economy. Nevertheless, Brasilia increased racial division in the nation. The capitals of Pakistan and Nigeria have all been relocated to recently built cities. Egypt is currently building a new capital from scratch has proven to be extremely difficult thus far, despite the desire to relieve the strain of overcrowded Cairo with a new capital city. For instance, the abandoned city of Napodon in Myanmar today resembles a ghost town. Nigeria's Abuja hastened the country's urbanization, but it was unable to provide a plan for reasonably priced housing for its citizens. As a result, more slums were created. India's was dubbed New Delhi. The city, which was renamed as new capital from Calcutta, currently leads the globe in air pollution, and many eco-cities are underperforming even though they are meticulously designed to meet the strictest environmental regulations. Sino-Singapore lost our city in Abu Dhabi and gained Tianjin Eco-City in China, which were intended to be the first carbon-free city in the world, are green ghost villages. Now, it's possible that the news will ultimately provide an inspiring alternative vision of an ecological future from the global south, a low-carbon, nature-infused pedestrian city with skywalks, parks, bike paths, and a metro system coexisting within a biodiverse rainforest, despite its problems. The news may also change over time and affect the body. Perhaps this new Asian metropolis inspires fresh ideas and solutions for the smart, sustainable city of the future. However, it is still too early to tell if Nusantara will be successful or not. We appreciate your time and will see you in the future video. Please share your thoughts about Nusantara in the comments box below. Sustainable city of the future. However, It is still too early to tell if Nusantara will be successful or not. We appreciate your time and will see you in the future video. Please share your thoughts about Nusantara in the comments box below.